allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know. 2 shakes of awareness. Okay. So we have a little agenda shaking up today, so do we have to approve and then shake up and then approve again?
I think we do the
Remembering correctly?
attendance of quorum and then, we would make the changes and then approve, right?
Yeah.
Or a motion to make the changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then approve. Okay.
So when did you, open public comment?
I haven't yet. I was just making sure I was following the right
Mhm.
part. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do attendance and determination of a quorum.
Director Maynard.
Here.
Director Johnson.
Here.
Director Mendoza.
Here.
And Director Arcana.
Here.
And Director Loudon Slater is absent.
Okay, so we do have a quorum. Before we do the approval of the agenda, we are gonna remove and postpone the ceremonial matters, so we will reschedule those. So we're gonna remove that from the budget, the agenda. So
They're not here today, so
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure they got recognized.
if I can have a motion for that, and then we can approve the agenda.
I'll move we move ceremonial matters to a future agenda. The current ceremonial matter items to a future agenda.
And approve the agenda as is. Or with the amendment.
Don't we have one more to go? What? Yes, what you said.
Okay.
Second.
Second, Maynard. All right. Director Maynard.
Yes.
Director Johnson.
Yes.
Director Mendoza.
Yes.
Director Arcana.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now that we have approval of the agenda, that'll take us to public comment and association reports. Any person may address the district board on any subject pertaining to district business that is not listed on the agenda. This comment is provided by the Ralph M. Brown Open Meeting Act. It may be limited to 3 minutes for any person addressing the board. Any request that requires board action may be set by the board for a future agenda item or referred to staff. At this time, is there any public comment?
Yes.
I'm Michael Winkler. I'm the former member of the Arcata City Council and former mayor of Arcata. Worked with Randy Mendoza for a number of years when he was city manager. What I want to talk about is after the catastrophic January 2nd fire, I was very concerned about preventing future fires. So I did some investigation and I came across a report done by former Chief Cowan titled "A Roadmap to Success Retroactive Sprinkler Ordinances." And my reading of the report says that a retroactive fire sprinklers ordinance, specifically for Arcata, would be very effective in preventing future fires. So I've been in contact with Arcata Mayor White, and she's indicated she's going to put it on the agenda for something for the Arcata City Council to take up, and possibly for Arcata City staff to investigate. So what I would like would be for the fire district to, working from this report, put it on the agenda of the board and direct staff to update and investigate the possibility of the mandatory Arcata downtown district fire retrofit ordinance, and to work with the city of Arcata to investigate this and to see if this is a possibility, and and we can come up with a financing mechanism to make this happen and to prevent something from January 2nd from happening again.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment at this time? Seeing that there is none, that'll take us to our association
Yes, I'll
report.
give you
Oh, thank
this from the report.
Thanks. That'll take us to the local 4981 monthly report.
All right, so some good news and some bad news regarding Chili Cook. Good news. We won the Team Spirit Award, which is the one that eluded us last year. Bad news, we had second place instead of first place, in best taste of chili. But we all had fun, it was a great time.
Who won?
I believe it was the Buck Wild Boards, booth. I don't know if that was the name that they submitted.
Was that the tequila shot or?
No, that was one that was giving out unsanctioned ribs.
No bribery. There's so much cheating going on.
That's okay. You know, a little bit. But it was a great time. More importantly, you get to see a lot of members of the public we don't get to see on a day-to-day basis, and non-emergent situation, always a good time.
Is that like the equivalent of doping and?
You know, I think an independent investigation should be done, but that's just me, but I'm also biased. Outside of that, we had the opportunity to meet with the finance committee to discuss the alternative staffing plan. That was a great meeting. Won't talk too much on that, but out of that came some education points that President Johnson asked me to reiterate and re-invite everybody to come do a ride along with us, so we can show you a little bit of what we do. Because that might aid in decision-making down the line. So whenever you want to, reach out to me, reach out to anybody. I'm quite positive that we'll show you guys a good time and hopefully teach you guys a little bit about what we do. And once you guys have questions, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, that'll bring us to the Arcata Volunteer Fire Association report.
Thank you again, let me speak, on the Wallace Arcata Volunteer Firefighter Association, and the barbecue, the chili was excellent. The team spirit was outrageous. Yeah. I mean, there was actually no competition. So, you haven't seen your packet as well, it was actually an excellent, you guys had good chili.
Thank
Just did not first.
Yeah.
For training, for the VLU, we did the air compressor, the new air compressor, which was excellent training. It's a nice facility, nice equipment. You guys get a chance to check it out. It doesn't operate a whole lot different than the previous one, but it's a lot cleaner and newer. It's really nice. 32 students CPR last month. Mad River High, Cummings West, and Green Diamond. Some really good classes, and actually, the picture two was a real good one for it. I need to read my things before I mail them out because I don't know how to spell invoice. Just for information, the slip-in pump was $52,500. The canopy for $82.91 was $47.33, and the tray was $22.60, which basically exceeded the amount of the grant by $528. So the association covered it.
Oh.
So we picked it up. The PG&E and Central Coast gave us $7,500 for platinum projects. We're trying to figure out how to manage that. That's a lot less than last time, but I think we can use that to follow up on people that are interested as well. Bird Foundation is still asking questions about the hose and the nozzles. They got a brand new board, so they're trying to figure out how they do business. The first question they asked is, doesn't the Arcata City supply hose? We told them no. And Firewise community meetings are getting started, and we're starting to get some good response from the Firewise community. All right, thank you.
Okay, that'll conclude public comment and association reports. It'll take us into closed session. At any time during the regular session, the board may adjourn to closed session to consider existing or anticipated litigation, liability claims, real property negotiations, license and permit determinations, threats to security and public employee appointments, personnel matters, evaluations of discipline, labor negotiations, or to discuss with legal counsel matters within the attorney-client privilege. We have one closed session tonight, which is to discuss resolution of a personnel matter. So at this time, we'll adjourn to closed session.
I think we still have to do the public comment part of it though, correct? Isn't that what we ran into last time?
Yeah. Okay, so, is there any public comment in regards to the closed session? Seeing that there is none, we will adjourn to closed session.
We are off mute.
Okay, we're back from closed session and our report out is that we gave direction to staff. Moving on, that'll take us to the consent calendar. Consent calendar items are considered routine and are acted upon by the board with a single action. Members of the audience wishing to provide public input may request that the board remove the items from the consent calendar. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes. Is there any public comment in regards to the consent calendar items? Seeing that there is none, is there any board questions or discussion in regards to the consent calendar? Okay, seeing that there.
I think I missed the spot, page 30 or
Oh,
32 and 34 needed to be adjusted.
okay,
34 wasn't supposed to be there, and 32, there was a typo.
okay, so that's, which,
It's the
Items.
resolution 26-348. The appropriation limit number is incorrect on that one, and then the exhibit A is last year's numbers.
so do we need to pull it and redo it for next month, or is it something that you can do?
Well, one's indicated as 25, 26, exhibit A. That would be the one that we would exclude. It shouldn't have been in there. The other one, the 26, 27, exhibit A would be the accurate one. So page 31 would be accurate. Page 34 should not be in there.
So you can adopt the consent
The
calendar
removal of
with-
page 31,
with the following amendments of removal of
34.
34,
Okay.
and, yeah.
Are you guys all on point with that? It
Yeah.
would be an adoption with the removal of page 34 off of consent calendar item number 4.
And the amendment to 32. Correct.
Where was the amendment?
And then,
Correct. We printed out another one.
Oh, you did?
That has
Okay.
different numbers.
the amendment he's referring to, this resolution, that number should have been switched over to 527511.
So it'll be a correction to page 32 and the removal of page 34.
Correct, yes.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve all items on the consent calendar with the modifications to page 32 that were discussed and the removal of page 32.
Director Munoz,
Yes.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Mendoza,
Yes.
and Director Nakana.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That'll take us on to district business. First item of business is to consider adoption of the preliminary budget for fiscal year 2026, 2027. The attachment is the draft preliminary budget for fiscal year 2026, 2027.
You did, you want
Or Ross?
You can do it if you want. I'll answer questions.
Okay. Okay, pursuant to Health and Safety Code 13890, the district board shall adopt a preliminary budget on or before June 30th of each year. If the district board has not adopted a preliminary budget, the amounts deemed appropriated shall be based on the budget of the preceding year. Additionally, on or before June 30th, the district board shall publish a notice stating all of the following. Number one, that it has adopted a preliminary budget which is available for inspection at a time and place within the district specified in the notice. Number two, the date, time, and place when the board will meet to adopt the final budget, that any person may appear and be heard regarding any item on the budget or regarding the addition of other items. The notice shall be published in at least one newspaper of general circulation in the district and shall be published at least 2 weeks before the date of the meeting. Staff has developed a draft preliminary budget for fiscal year 2026-27 based on rollover amounts from the current fiscal year. Staff is also waiting for CalPERS to complete this year's actuaries to determine what the unfunded accrued liability payment will be. It will also allow for increases in insurance premiums to be announced. After July, staff will develop a final draft for the budget. The draft preliminary budget is based on the following assumptions. Property tax growth was static. District assessments collections were static. Staff levels to reflect a 3-station operation on a 48-96 schedule with an administration of 4 full-time employees, which is 1 fire chief, 1 business manager, 2 assistant chiefs, 1 is currently vacant, 1 part-time office assistant, suppression of 18 full-time employees, 9 captains, 9 engineers, prevention of 2 part-time employees, 1 part-time fire marshal, 1 part-time inspector, and then our healthcare premiums remaining static. PERS rates based on the current staffing levels and the PERS UAL payment is estimated. Staff's recommendation is the board consider the draft preliminary budget for fiscal year 26-27, take public comment, discuss, and 1, approve the preliminary budget for fiscal year 26-27 as presented, set the public hearing for final adoption of the budget at the September 10th, 2026 board meeting, and authorize the board clerk secretary to publish a notice pursuant to Health and Safety Code 13.893. And the attachments are included as far as the preliminary budget.
At this time, is there any public comment in regards to the adoption of the preliminary budget for fiscal year in 2026-2027? Seeing that there is none, are there any director questions or comments?
I have some, just for clarification. And I guess I want to understand this better. So looking at, I'll just pick this line, it says use of money and property. For the draft, 26-27 shows 282,000. For the mid-year, 25-26, it only shows 35,088. Is that because for the draft 25-26, maybe it was you're more guessing or trying to just kind of put some funds in reserve, and then the mid-year you more accurate on the count or the amount, or and the same for the charges for services, and the miscellaneous revenues also. Those the numbers are
The mid-year numbers were the ones that were presented to the board, in the mid-year. I couldn't, verify all the numbers on that. The numbers on the projected draft for 26-27 were based on, what we received for charges and services and the interest income over the last 2 years. So it stays in rough line with those.
Are there any other questions or comments? All right, seeing that there is none, do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the preliminary budget for fiscal year 26-27 as presented. Set the public hearing for final adoption of the budget at the September 10th, 2026 board meeting. And authorize the board clerk / secretary to publish a notice pursuant to HSC section 13.893.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Director Maynard?
Yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
And Director Mendoza?
Yes.
And Director Arcana?
Yes.
Motion carried.
That'll take us to district business item number 2, authorization to purchase replacement 1 3/4 inch fire hose.
As part of the district's annual hose testing program, a significant portion of our existing stock, an 1 3/4 attack hose failed required service testing and was removed from service. Following the testing process, the district was left with only a single 50-foot section of replacement 1 3/4 hose available for operational use. The district's Type 1 engines carry 16 lengths of 1 3/4 as part of their standard firefighting complement, and maintaining an adequate inventory of replacement hose is critical to ensure apparatus remain fully equipped and ready for emergency response. Any hose damage or placed out of service emergency incidents or after emergency incidents must be replaced immediately to maintain operational readiness. District has applied for grant funding to replace its aging inventory of 1 3/4 hose with a newer, more consistent hose product throughout the fleet. If awarded, the grant would cover approximately $55,000 in new hose purchase. However, the grant award timeline remains uncertain. The current inventory levels are insufficient to support ongoing operation until the grant funding replacement project can be completed. The requested purchase will provide sufficient hose to replace the recently failed sections and rebuild a reserve inventory for, one engine specifically. It'd be, roughly $10,000 will cover, 32 lengths of hose. Will be a full engine complement of the new hose with enough backstock for that one, which will allow that engine's hose to be put into backstock for the rest of the fleet. I'm new on giving these presentations, so sorry.
You're doing fine.
That sounds perfect.
The fiscal impact is the $10,500 to replace the hose. The grant funding, since we've been in the process for so long, the price of the hose has gone up, and will only cover about 2,500 of this purchase. So the fiscal impact to the district will be about $8,000 that we'll have to pay over what the grant's gonna cover.
If we get it.
If we get the grant. It sounds like we're close, but as you heard, Roy earlier, the Bird Grant, or the Bird Foundation has new board of directors, and they're asking questions that we've already answered in years past, so we're just going through the process. And we should know by the end of this month, hopefully, if we got that grant.
I have a question. Does the Humboldt Area Foundation grant for the new engine come with all the new hose? So
No, that's a separate.
is that gonna be on top of this? Or have we already budgeted for that?
So the new engine that's coming will replace one of our current engines. So the hose that's used on that will just transfer over.
Are we gonna get rid of an engine, or is it gonna keep one for parts?
That's up for discussion.
Yeah, we would have to come back to the board and ask for to surplus it, but I believe we're likely gonna ask to surplus one of them, one of the reserve engines.
How long does those last? If it's not damaged? Is there a lifespan on it, or do you just test it regularly?
The hose.
The hose?
It's annually tested. We have,
Recommended service life is 10 years.
Yeah.
However, about 3 or 4 years ago, we finally failed the piece that we bought in 1976.
So there's no lifespan.
There's definitely recommended lifespans, and then you kind of deal with what you got.
And has hose technology gotten better? Lighter, stronger, faster? Okay.
All the above.
Do they get damaged very often on calls? Like if you go to a fire, are you going to damage a hose?
The possibility is there. Usually it's abrasion, but that doesn't necessarily tag it as out of service. The big ones, if it ever gets run over or burned through. I do believe a couple of sticks at the square fire, sustained some damage when the facade of the building came down.
Are they repairable, or do you just?
Depends on where it gets, damaged at.
Thank you, just curious.
Quote, the 10,500 is recent, it's not
the
old.
10,500 is based off of the quote on page 49. That's the most recent quote for the grant purchase. And doing the rough math would put the 32 lengths equals $10,500.
From April, okay.
Yeah. And I believe the timeline on the grant is we've been, almost 9 months, 10 months on waiting, so.
Okay, the only reason I'm asking is because I was trying to think if the Strait of Hormuz issues are gonna have any impact on your river or whatever, so it could potentially be more. But I guess we'll just have to deal with that. Okay, cool. Right, is there, I can't remember if I already did it, so I'm just gonna do it again. Is there any public comment on this issue? Seeing that there is none, have we covered all the director questions, concerns? Okay, I have a motion.
I know we authorized the expenditure of $10,500 to purchase of replacement 1 3/4 inch fire hose
And reserve inventory replenishment.
Second.
I'll second.
Director Maynard,
Yes.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Mendoza,
Yes.
Director Khanna,
Yes.
and motion carries.
That'll take us to district business item number 3, award of contract with Arcata Station exterior painting project.
Sure. So I'll give the background. The Arcata Fire District solicited competitive bids for exterior painting services for the station located here at 631 9th Street. The project includes exterior painting of stucco surfaces, wood and stucco trim, porch areas, surface preparation, cleaning, crack repair, application of peel bond primer where required, and application of 2 coats of paint. The project is required to be completed by September 30th, 2026. A mandatory project walkthrough was conducted on March 19th, 2026. Bid proposals were due on May 1st of 2026. As far as the procurement process, the district publicly advertised the project and invited qualified commercial painting contractors to submit proposals. Contractors were required to provide information regarding experience, licensing, insurance, warranty, staging plans, project availability, and paint specifications. A total of 6 bids were received, and the top 3 bids were contractor A for $33,640, contractor B $22,850. Contractor C, $22,222.22. Staff reviewed the submitted proposals for responsiveness to the solicitation requirements, contractor qualifications, project experience, proposed materials, scheduling, warranty provisions, and overall ability to perform the work. Based on this review, staff determined that Empire Painting of Reading submitted the most responsive and responsible proposal and demonstrated the qualifications necessary to successfully complete the project. The proposed contract amount is $33,640 and will be funded from account number 5130, which is the maintenance for building and grounds. Sufficient funds are available within the approved budget. Our recommendation is that the board of directors award the contract for the Arcata Station exterior painting project located at 631 9th Street in Arcata to Empire Painting in the amount of $33,640 and authorize the fire chief to execute the contract and related documents. And if you have any questions, I also have Captain Johnson here, who was the one that facilitated the project and did the walkthroughs with the various contractors.
Yeah, I just have a question. Why were they $11,000 better than the other 2 cheaper ones?
I can't really answer that question. The 2 lower bids were very similar. My guess is that one of the new things with AI is that they input size based off of square footage, and it kicks out a number. And those 2 bids were very, very, very similar. Their proposals were almost exact. And so my background is building construction, and in talking with the one contractor from Empire, he has past experience working with other fire departments and was very well very well aware of the difference of doing a fire station compared to just a regular commercial building. He talked about staging equipment, doing with the crews, not blocking access for us, and being in communication, which is a huge part. He has a past performance agreement, it sounded like, with CAL FIRE, and basically just does work for them. So that stood out to me with him specifically. I do know from past experience that low bid is not always the best performance. So that was my recommendation, just with everything that was basically submitted.
Thank you.
22,000 seems kind of low for
Yeah, I mean, a decent sized residential home could hit that.
right.
So it kind of threw up some red flags.
So we're going with flamingo pink or hot pink?
And neither one of the other ones were, oh, one is local.
Yeah, but they wanted, I think,
They were,
59.
Well, Renaissance was,
there were, yeah,
115.
Oh,
so neither of the two cheaper ones were local either,
I believe there was only one that was local, right?
which was.
Renaissance.
Renaissance was local.
Oh,
Yeah, with Empires from Reading.
Right.
okay.
So just to make sure, the top three were out of town, so no locals made the cut.
It's kind of surprising to me that there was actually only, I think, two local, one or two that were even had to walk through,
On the market, you,
which I was surprised. I know Glenn very well.
Yeah.
It went to the RP went to the Bullion Exchange to get kicked out, it goes statewide, and it didn't seem like there was very much local interest for whatever reason.
must be busy.
Yeah.
Is there any public comment at this time? Seeing there's none, are there any other director questions or comments? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing the recommendation here. Oh, you've changed the formatting on me.
Sorry, we're gonna start doing recommendation at the top now.
All right, you can tell who's reading it. Do I have a motion?
I move that we award the contract for the Arcata Station exterior painting to Empire Painting of Reading in the amount of $33,640 and authorize the fire chief to execute the contract and related documents.
A second.
Okay. Director Maynard,
Yes.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Mendoza,
Yes.
and Director O'Connor.
yes.
Motion carries.
Good work.
That'll take us on to district business item number 4, the 2026 biannual review of conflict of interest code.
So the background is the Humboldt County Office of Elections and Voter Registration Office issued a notice dated May 7th, 2026 regarding the required biennial review of local agency conflict of interest code. Excuse me. The notice was addressed to the Arcata Fire Protection District and states that local government agencies are required under the Political Reform Act to review their conflict of interest codes every 2 years to determine whether revisions are necessary. The notice establishes a response deadline of August 7th, 2026. The materials state that a conflict of interest code must contain terms of the code, designated positions, and disclosure categories. The materials further state that revisions to a district's conflict of interest code do not become effective until approved by the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors. The discussion was the biennial review materials provided by the Humboldt County Office of Elections and Voter Registration outline the following considerations when determining whether amendments are necessary. Whether the current code is more than 5 years old, whether there have been substantial organizational changes since adoption, whether positions have been eliminated or renamed, whether new positions have been added, and whether there have been substantial changes in duties or responsibilities of designated positions. The materials also provide procedural steps depending on whether revisions are determined to be necessary. If revisions are necessary, the materials the materials indicate the district must, 1, review the existing conflict of interest code, 2, draft proposed revisions, 3, complete the biennial notice form, and 4, return the biennial notice form and proposed revisions to the Office of Elections. If revisions are not necessary, the materials indicate the district must, 1, review the existing conflict of interest code, complete the biennial notice form, and return the biennial notice form to the Office of Elections. The submitted materials indicate the district is required to complete the biennial review process and return the required notice materials to the Humboldt County Office of Elections by August 7th, 2026. No additional operational impacts were provided. Legal and policy considerations, the materials state that local agencies are required to review their conflict of interest code at least every even numbered year. And you can see what the attachments are. And the suggested motion is to move to review the district's conflict of interest code and direct staff to complete and submit the required 2026 biennial notice materials to the Humboldt County Office of Elections and Voter Registration. So our recommendation was review the district's conflict of interest code as part of the required 2026 biennial review process and provide direction regarding whether amendments are necessary. I will add that Director Arcata did point out some conflicting directions within the code itself, so I do believe that we need to review it and make some changes potentially.
Do you have resources to do that? Will that be done by an outside?
That would be sent over
To legal?
to legal for
Yeah.
review. Legal would be the ones drafting this.
So our conflict, currently, there does appear to be conflict in our conflict of interest code. Yeah,
I wasn't gonna say that, I was just,
section 5.
you want me to tell everybody what I found?
Yeah.
Okay. So on page 93, if you go to section 5, it says place of filing. There's, the two paragraphs that are on page 93 under section 5. First one reads, all designated employees required to submit a statement of economic interest shall file the original with the secretary of the board of directors, who shall be the filing officer for all designated employees, excluding the board of directors. The second one says, within 5 days of receipt of the statement of economic interest from the board of directors, from the board of directors. So the second one seems to say that the board of directors will also submit our paperwork to the board secretary. And the first paragraph seems to say everybody not on board of directors.
We don't even,
Okay,
we just do it online and give you a copy, right?
correct, and that's, yeah.
But that's not how we did it before.
So all designated employees required to submit a statement of economic interest shall file the original with the secretary of the board.
That's the Form
That-
700.
That would be like, for example, Assistant Chief McDonald or Fire Chief Emmons or myself.
That's the Form 700. We all have
Correct.
to do that.
Yeah.
And so do designated employees that have financial, and like decision-making. So what it's referring to is like myself, Fire Chief. and Assistant Chief.
Doesn't our policy list us as the,
And you guys as well, but
Yeah.
I also receive a copy is what it's saying.
right, but the first section seems to exclude us with not giving our copy to you.
Okay, I see how, yes, okay.
Well, you know what, that might be a Becky thing because she really didn't care. Because we did it online and.
I didn't.
I did it and dropped it off at the station. Only since, you've been here, I've only been doing it online.
Oh, I've been doing it.
Yeah, I've always dropped off, I dropped off to Becky.
Aren't I the
Yeah.
draft there?
Yeah.
Well, technically, the board of directors needs to file with the Office of Election, the Form 700. I receive a copy via email if you do it online,
Yeah.
but you could do the other way where you drop it off as well.
I was thinking we could just change section 5 to say, just to remove the word excluding, or change the word excluding, including,
Well,
to make it clear.
isn't someone gonna go through and make sure there's no?
I think we have Jason.
Yeah.
Why do we need legal?
I know,
That was the only mistake I found when I read through it, so.
Well, I think they're gonna direct us to review.
You can be an ad hoc committee of one. You can just save us some money.
Actually, I just did, that was the only mistake I found.
It's done.
That's right.
It's been.
We have no conflict.
But all you're looking for is just review the thing and do take the appropriate actions, correct?
I mean, send it to legal if you want, but it seems like a waste of money. But
Would we have to do?
Well, there hasn't been any significant changes within the organization as far as like organizational structure, right? Or vacant positions or anything like that. So,
Right.
you know,
at least it would be required to file Form 700.
Right, correct.
Was, I think there's a time frame in there too.
Yeah, by August 7th.
Yeah.
Has to be completed
When was
by
the last time it was reviewed though?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
The last even, so it would have been 24 would have been the last review.
2020.
But it's not more than 5 years old. It's not insignificant or substantial revision. Positions have not been. But that was all I had. Anybody else have anything else?
I don't- You all right?
Yeah, this is my best life over here.
So it's not, based on what I'm hearing is there is direction from the board for us to review it, correct?
Well, there's a motion needs to be made, right? Is there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
So if revisions are not necessary, you can just say, there's no revisions, please fill out what's the form?
700, or is that what-
No, I can return this notice from the Office of Elections saying no amendments to our conflict of interest code. And then we can move forward and we can revisit it in 2 years and see if there's any changes within the district that we want to address.
can we do that and still make the change to that section 5?
Legally, no,
I think we need to,
unless you want to go through the legal course of action where Ryan, because we're changing basically the laws. So it's gonna be a process if we do that. So I just want you guys to be aware of that.
I mean, if it's,
yeah, but I think it needs to be done to clear it up.
Why don't we wait another couple of years? I don't know, 400, 500 bucks an hour. Is it 500?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
I'm thinking, I mean, little blips like that is,
well, it needs to be reviewed, right? I mean,
Yeah.
That's the first thing. You brought up something that could be looked at under the review
Right.
and then determined,
Correct.
We just,
and you're gonna review
We can review. And then,
and determine whether or not that's
and it
a
might be just
a little oopsie or a big oopsie.
Exactly.
can I just try it? I don't know if this will pass, but can I try a motion?
Yep.
If it doesn't pass, that's fine. So I move that we authorize staff to complete the 2026 local agency biennial notice after, but actually I have staff review it and then submit the completed 2026 local agency biennial notice.
I'll second that.
I have a question about that. Would you guys be able to review it yourselves and make that one change?
Well, if something well, we would have to go through the process then.
okay.
Yeah, if we make that change, we'll still be going through the process, the full process with it.
Yeah, so right now,
You can't
what I'm
keep it in-house,
hearing,
do it.
the board, what's that?
You can't just keep it in-house and do it.
No. So right now I'm hearing the motion is, staff is being directed to review the biannual code, or the biannual conflict of interest code and seek legal guidance
And
and bring it back to board.
No, complete the 2026 annual notice. Complete and submit the notice, that's my motion.
Got it, okay,
I don't know if it'll
And I second it,
okay, yeah.
pass my motion.
So Director Maynard?
yes.
Director Johnson?
Yes.
Director Mendoza?
Yes.
Director Khan?
No.
Okay.
Fair
Yep.
enough. I think I've known you a few times.
Yeah, you have.
You know.
That's okay.
It's that side of the table.
We just
Thank
saved, we just saved a couple $1,000 for the district.
Sounds like we need a raise.
Yeah.
What's that?
That didn't sound like me and Annalee need a raise.
All you have to do is sign it. That you're comfortable with it.
All right. District business, item number 5. Consideration of vote for the Humboldt LAFCO Independent Special District.
So this item was just, we received correspondence from LAFCO on whether the board wants to, vote on consideration for the candidates of Megan Ryan from the Manila Community Service District or David Couch from the McKinleyville Community Service District. It's for a regular special district member position at the LAFCO Independent Special District. The board may choose not to vote and we can move forward, or they may choose to vote and I will turn, the presiding officer would sign.
I recommend we vote.
Okay,
Are we we're voting as a board, not individually?
as a board, correct.
I nominate David. I move that we
Whoa,
vote for David
hold
Couch.
on. Is there any public comment?
Oh, I
For district
thought-
business item number 5. Oh,
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, so seeing that there is no public comment, is there any director?
And maybe Randy can answer this, my question. Does anybody know or have any ideas about either of these two?
I believe we recommended David previously.
David worked with the city for years. He's an honest, standing guy. He worked, yeah, so.
You could answer.
But no, I'm just trying to move things along. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was out of line. I'm sorry.
Mr. Bureaucrat moving things along. That's the only question I had. I don't know either of these two individuals, and I was hoping somebody knew one or the other of them, so they can make a recommendation. Yep.
Yeah, we've worked with David before in the McKinley Community Services District, so. That's my own interactions with him, but he's lovely.
Is he currently on the LAFCO board?
It looks like he's currently an alternate member,
Yeah.
alternate member, based on page 105.
I'm sure we voted for him previously, that's what I'm remembering, but who knows?
No.
Now you can do it.
I'll let someone else do it.
No, don't do it.
You do it now.
Yep.
I should have sanctions for being out of.
Censure you.
Okay, I move that we nominate, or we nominating or we voting?
Voting.
Nominating.
Oh.
David Couch.
Okay,
We're voting.
voting.
And direct staff to, I guess staff sends that information into
We're voting.
LAFCO.
I'll second.
Okay. Director Mueller?
Yes.
Okay, Director Johnson?
Yes.
Director Mendoza?
Yes.
Director Plana?
Yes.
Okay, motion carried.
So I guess it would be the direct staff to complete the form and send in the ballot form
Yeah.
that the board voted for David Couch.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll take us to district business item number 6, government relations discussion.
So this is, at the February 25 board meeting, board of directors meeting, the board requested to place a government relations item on future agendas to allow for discussion of ongoing items that impact the Arcata Fire District, such as community projects, relationships with other government entities, and future planning topics. Staff recommends that the board consider the information provided, take public comment, and discuss ongoing topics. There is no action needed.
Question, are the communication meetings still taking place with the university?
We had one last month, didn't we? Yeah, we did have one last month, and, was that the PG Neutral we were working with them on that? I'm trying to remember what the topic was that we worked on. But yes, short answer is yes, we are, and still meeting with, City of Arcata as part of that group as well. And we did arrange a meeting with Senator McGuire's staff up here for August. I believe it was August. We have a meeting coming up in August.
And what are the discussion points?
So, I mean, there's several about funding for the rural districts. One of the topics was about universities funding rural districts and so on.
Or paying their, I would say, paying their fair share, if you could. We don't want their funding, we want them to just pay their fair share. Pay the service.
The discussion was funding, so.
One question I have.
Are there any other questions or comments? No. Is there any public comment? Seeing that there is none, we're ready to move on. So that'll conclude district business, and that will move on to correspondence and communications. Looks like we have some public correspondence. Hold on, do we? No? No, okay. Which will take us to the second item in correspondence and communications, committee reports. Our first committee is our budget committee. We met twice this month. Was it this month? Yeah, okay. But yeah, we're working through some budget stuff, and we'll be reporting back later. So right now, we're just rolling over from.
Okay, I just had a question. Are we gonna get a report on the, presentation at the?
Yeah.
Okay. When, next, when?
What? The bar was?
No, on the,
On the staffing thing.
staffing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Station staff.
workshop,
Oh, yeah.
workshop for, yeah,
I mean, I guess we could talk about that now.
Marcus and I will send out an email. I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of hope that Annalee was gonna send the invitation out
Okay.
to everybody once we kind of coordinate schedules.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. I'll coordinate with you.
Yeah, I mean, the plan is to host a workshop so that we can get a little bit more in-depth, understanding of what the firefighters are doing. There was a part in the presentation that I think is, when you're not a veteran firefighter and you're just part of the governing board, I think it's really important that we understand certain parameters of the expectations. And so we were gonna do some workshops and highlight some of those things, and then we'll do the presentation of the proposal. And then by then, we should have all of the fiscal impact stuff ironed out, and then we can kind of do a two-part.
And those are public workshops or just?
Yeah, we
with
do
the staff?
public.
Yeah, right.
If we're there, it is.
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
there, public.
There we go. All right, so that'll take us to the second committee report, which is our government relations ad hoc committee. Do you guys have anything to report?
And we have nothing to report this time.
Okay. So that'll bring us to the next item in correspondence and communications, which is the fire chief's monthly report.
Sure. So as far as executive and intergovernmental meetings, attended multiple city council meetings, attended public safety day at Killinville High School. I put it under executive and intergovernmental because we were working with a lot of different agencies. However, that was more of a fun pub ed, public education day. It was a good day. We participated in multiple PG&E, Arcata Fire, Cal Poly, and City of Arcata disaster drills, or the big disaster drill. We attended a I attended a Cal OES, Arcata Fire Protection District, City of Arcata, California Disaster Agreement meeting regarding the January 2nd fire, and we have a kickoff meeting on the 24th where Cal OES will be coming up, so we're submitting for reimbursement, or some reimbursement from that fire, and it sounds positive at this point that we'll get some money back from it for our costs incurred on that incident. Attended the Humboldt County Operational Area meeting, Humboldt County Fire Safety Council meeting. I'm a voting member appointed by Supervisor Mike Wilson. Virtual attendance to the Cal OES Region 2 pre-fire season meeting. I know they say this every year, but we're already seeing fire behavior early, even in this area, but they're saying it's looking like it's gonna be bad fire year. I know everybody says that every year, but it does look like it's getting, the activity's picking up already. Arcata Fire, Cal Poly Humboldt, City of Arcata Working Group, regarding meeting with Senator McGuire, staff, future funding measures for, we had discussions how we're potentially gonna impact each other if we were to go to the public for, different funding measures and the timing of that, how, obviously, we don't wanna confuse the public with timing of, different funding measures by both agencies, but, so that was a discussion. Talked about our development impact fees presentation for the city council, which is coming up in July. We haven't seen a date from the Board of Supervisors yet, have we? No, so that, we've requested that be put on their agenda, but we haven't received confirmation of when yet. As far as our planning section, both Ross and I are taking on those duties. Meeting with Bartle Wells Consulting, we received the first draft of the engineering study. It was returned for revisions. Next week, we have another meeting. I need to tell you guys, it was canceled for tomorrow. Sorry. So next week we'll have another meeting. Obviously, we worked with the admin team and the finance committee to draft preliminary budget. Attended the Humboldt County Fire Chiefs Association meeting. A lot of discussion on Major Z funding and coordination. It's looking positive for us that we may receive some reimbursement for health and wellness for our budget, which is good. We've had a lot of ongoing development of our unmanned aerial system, our drone program. That's been going well. Capital improvements. Obviously, we completed the paint bid process for the arcade station, and Roy reported on the grants earlier, timeframes on some of those. Coast Central awarded $2,500 for additional address signs. Pacific Gas awarded $5,000 for additional address signs or other projects. There's high demand for the signage. And the Fire Safe Council, Firewise communities out in Jacoby Creek, Pickle Hill, Warren Creek areas are being developed. Roy, Rob, Michelle Donahue, and John Evenson have been very active in that. I attended one of the meetings and it was very well attended by the community out in Jacoby Creek. So that's a very positive program that's going on for Firewise, Fire Safe Councils. Rob is currently working on the Warren Creek Road area, so I just see it getting bigger from there.
Operations and training, Chief already touched on the PG&E drill. It was very successful. PG&E was thrilled with our participation. We've had, members attending the, Instructor 2 series classes or class and company officer classes. Operationally, we had 192 hours of acting duty officer time, this last month, and 192 hours of acting company officer hours this last month. We did some radio testing on the new engineering building that's being completed at Cal Poly, and we found out that the first floor, you can't get the radio out, so they have to put in a signal boost at that building as well. And then hose and ladder testing was completed at the end of May, which we ended up losing quite a bit of hose that was damaged and failed. Call wise, they had a fire alarm at Sunset Hall at the beginning of the month. And the crews arrived to find that they actually had a cooking fire that was put out by a student with a fire extinguisher. We had a structure fire on Sunset, or in the Sunset area in Arcata. And during the overhaul of that fire, there was a structure fire out in Blue Lake that Blue Lake was here helping us, that we kicked them loose and then sent in the Genevars out to go help them. We've had we had a big traffic accident on 101 that they took out the guardrail at 299. The rescue up on Pickle Hill for the guy on the dirt bike that crashed. Another structure fire in McKinleyville that was a outbuilding workshop Connex container built area. And then there was a response for a fire in the Mad River area, and passerbys found and then extinguished a fire on a fence near a residence. When they made contact with the occupant, she had no idea that her fence had been on fire. Roughly 11% of our medicals are breathing issues, or the other 11% is unknown problems. Our breakdown on fires, most of which now are gonna be outside fires, transient fires and whatnot. And then the locations were still over a third of the time just in a single family home. Manufactured homes and streets are getting more because we're having more accidents, and the trailer parks are starting to wake up for falls.
If I could, I just want to add in, I know Ross touched on the acting duty officer and company officer hours. As you know, we have an assistant chief vacancy right now, and the duty qualified captains that have been stepping up and covering those have been really helpful, giving some relief to he and I as far as the duty coverage. And we really appreciate it. It certainly helped us out. And that being said, when they bumped up, the acting captains or company officers have also bumped up. So it's not just those guys, the duty qualified guys, it's also the other folks behind them that are stepping up and covering. So we certainly appreciate that. And I think it's a good developmental tool, and I like where it's going, and we're seeing great success with it. And I think we need to continue going down that route.
Monthly incidents for May, we had a total of 288. Breakdown seems to be the normal type of breakdown. Most of the calls are medical, and then a good mix of everything else. By area, City of Arcata is still holding on to 50% of the calls, followed by McKinleyville, and then everybody else just filters along to assist. And then overall for May, about 67% of the time we're arriving at scene within 5 minutes. We had 63 overlapping calls, which is roughly 20% of the time one engine's out and a second call comes in. Maintenance wise, my pickup had to go in for a transmission repair and get new rear brakes. One of our Ferrari engines went out of service, and it was out of service for a while due to delays in getting replacement parts. And then the county repeater on Bella Vista that we use failed. It stopped working altogether. We had a new repeater in the closet that was purchased for Major Z that's going to go on to the radio tower that they're putting in at Bella Vista, and it got placed in the service early. The tower is still being purchased, so when that happens, it'll transition over to a higher point, which should help our radio coverage. Public education, Engineer Foster presented at the Seroptimus Dream It, Be It panel. She was part of the panel of career women. Then we had education with little learners, and the engine out of Mad River attended the Special Olympics torch run that Arcata Police was participating in. And then, you want to do social media or?
Did your transmission just fall out of the truck?
Issues, and when they took it apart, the gears in the transmission were breaking apart.
What year is that?
16, yeah. I just passed 80,000 miles on it, so.
What is it?
I should be.
Well, money.
I know, but they're notorious for bad transmission.
Apparently brakes too.
Okay, so, already.
The previous driver probably did all that damage.
Oh, yeah.
All right, social media.
You want to? Okay. Okay. So as far as our social media, our most popular were the piece of Arcata Fire history that was the siren was returned back to the department. And May 24th, cruise, I don't know which one that one was, to be honest with you.
The second one is the bike accident.
Oh, the bike accident, yeah. And then, obviously, we have some traffic collisions and, Nate's big, bright, smiling eyes with a bunch of kids and everything. So those are our most popular, events, along with, Ashley Foster for her Seroptimus. So that's for the popular performance, social media performance updates.
We're bringing back the lunchtime siren.
That's the $64,000 question. It does.
It needs a lot of renovation.
Yeah.
It's rusted through in quite a few spots and.
Could we do something, in social media that, because I've got some questions from folks that they really want to know. So if we could pour something out to explain the status of that.
Yeah, we could probably put something out.
For the siren specifically?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can fashion up a press release or something that it's back and it's currently awaiting restoration. But there's no current plans to put it back on the building.
I mean, it could even just be a social media post, I mean, just so that the folks can, people are interested in it, it was quite a.
Somebody will probably start a GoFundMe for it or something.
There you go.
Well, yeah,
That'd be better than I think.
I mean, during the Gulf War, the first Gulf War, when that thing went off and
Air raid.
we had, out of town visitors staying at the Hotel Arcata, it didn't really, it was like incoming Scud missiles, you know.
I love that thing.
It wasn't really, appreciated by the hotel.
Isn't it the same sound as the tsunami warning?
Close, close, yeah.
I would think that that would be confusing.
It's just noon. Just 12 o'clock on the dot.
Except when the clock got off and it went off at midnight.
Did it?
Okay. Are you guys gonna touch on pages
Fire
of
marshal report.
7117 or 7118?
Fire marshal, 65 hours worked, total recorded activities were 63, 20 building projects with 23 inspections for code enforcement. And meetings in public education, I had 9 and 7 other activities. Project referrals, a couple of project referrals, 13 plan reviews, building code interpretations, 5, and 11 construction inspections. 6 special events. It's getting to be that time of year where it's really, we're getting the requests for outdoor activities and festivals. State mandated were 3. No cannabis facility inspections. And then we had some special inspections. Hazard abatement had 1, code enforcement, 3, and building department pre-application discussions through the city of Arcata. Looks like we had a couple of those, or he had a couple of those. And total of 7 general meetings, 2 hydrant flow tests, 2 other events, which might be Knox boxes. It looks like it was Knox boxes. And then code training with the Humboldt County Building and Planning Departments. So that's what the fire marshal's activities are, and we're going into the 4th of July holiday, so that'll also, that's in next month, you'll hear about the inspections on storage and booth inspections for 4th of July as part of that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In my division, out on West End Road, there is, I guess a company had moved there, and they're parking a fuel tender, a set of devils with 1203 placards on it. And I'm wondering, are there any, it's just out there, it's not around a gate or no fencing, is that something that are there any requirements?
Is that on West End there?
It's there at the old mill.
No.
It's been there for about the last several months.
Oh, I'm wondering if it's the fuel for the heavy equipment for the culvert.
It's kind of devils.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just out there in the middle of nowhere. No special requirement. There's no requirement for that? No. Curious.
is that where they've been doing the culvert failure out on West End by the mill site?
No, it's past well, it's where the old, well, it's toward the south end of the complex.
Oh,
And there's a metal building there. And they've been parking it there quite a bit and,
The warehouse.
yeah.
yeah, I'll have to try that and look at it. I don't know.
It's not always there, but it's often there. And it's a regular, tractor trailer
You said doubles.
doubles.
Yeah.
I've got one question. The fire hydrant next to, Ace in McKinleyville, there was a, filler or something on that. That is not the department's purview, right? That's MCSD?
So,
The
yeah,
hydrants.
yes.
Okay. Thank
You say a filler, you mean?
There was a big, long unit that was attached to it that I think they were filling the truck on.
Want to make sure we get those there.
Yeah, no, it was not our pack yet. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that'll conclude the fire chief's monthly report and take us to director matters. Okay.
Can you let us know, because I know he's going to ask me, when you talk to the city, can you talk to them about Michael Winkler's request for the ordinance? Because he will certainly be getting back and asking, so I think we should have an answer for him.
Well, I think the indicator too, is gonna be talking to Mayor White as well.
It is, but he's also contacted me
Yeah.
for this meeting, and so it's, I mean, it's of course a great idea, but I know it comes, having looked at this in the past, it comes with a boatload of issues
Right.
that make it complicated. But I think it's something that I would hope that you could talk to the city about and see what's happening on their end.
Yeah, I'll certainly bring it up.
The ordinance, of course, just for the public, the fire district can't do it. That would have to be the city and also the county. And I guess it'd just be the city if he wants to do it in the downtown. but
Yeah.
I don't know if he could. It seemed like that'd have to be in their zoning, in their, it'd have to be zoned for that. It would be their whole plan that would be a big thing for the city to do, but
Yeah, I'll certainly bring it up at the weekly directors meeting.
I haven't looked at Desmond Callen's report. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, it's his executive fire officer report or applied research project from when he went through the National Fire Academy program.
Is it something that, if this discussion is gonna take place, would it be something that our staff should amend, or are we gonna use that as the representing what?
I would want more current information. I mean, it's not that he had a bad report or anything like that, but I would certainly want something.
That's been quite a while.
What year
Was
is
it
the
40
report?
years old?
No, not that old. It's probably 10, 12 years old.
Oh.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so if you could let us know down the road, I appreciate it.
I don't have anything.
I already said mine. About the turn.
Okay, well, that will conclude correspondence and communication. And take us to adjournment. The next regularly scheduled board meeting is July 9th at the Arcata Downtown Station at 5:30 PM. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Second. Third.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.